The starship Horizon drifted silently through the inky void, its sleek hull gleaming in the light of an unfamiliar sun. Captain Alexis Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling azure planet that filled the view screen. After years of interstellar travel, they have finally reached their destination, a world that promised to change everything humanity thought it knew about life in the universe. Sensors are picking up artificial structures on the surface, Captain, reported Lieutenant Kira Chen, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Definitely signs of an advanced civilization. Alexis nodded, a mix of excitement and apprehension coursing through her. Any response to our hails? Nothing yet, Kira replied, but there's significant electromagnetic activity. They can probably see us. As if on cue, a series of lights began pulsing on the planet's night side, forming intricate patterns that couldn't be natural. They're signaling us, Alexis breathed. She turned to her communications officer. Ensign Patel, run those light patterns through the xenolinguistic database. Let's see if we can decipher. A burst of static cut her off as an alien transmission suddenly flooded their comms. The bridge crew stared in stunned silence as a holographic figure materialized before them, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and 4 arms. When it spoke, the words came out as a series of musical tones that the ship's computer struggled to translate. Greetings, visitors from beyond. We are the Zaraquin. We welcome you in peace and curiosity. Alexis stepped forward, her heart pounding. This was the moment she had trained for her entire career. I am Captain Alexis Reyes of the Earth ship Horizon. We come in peace and friendship, eager to learn about your people and share knowledge. The alien's large, multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with interest. Your journey must have been long, Captain Reyes. We invite you to rest and refresh yourselves on our world. A delegation will meet you at these coordinates. As landing instructions appeared on their screens, Alexis turned to her first officer. Commander Okafor, prepare a landing party. Full diplomatic protocols. Within the hour, Alexis found herself descending through wispy lavender clouds in a sleek shuttle. Beside her, xenobiologist Dr. Yuki Tanaka vibrated with barely contained excitement. Just think of what we might learn, Yuki gushed. Their biology, their technology, it could revolutionize everything. Alexis smiled at the scientist's enthusiasm, but kept her own emotions in check. First contact situations were delicate. One wrong move could have catastrophic consequences. The shuttle touched down in a sprawling plaza surrounded by towering spires that seemed to be made of living crystal. A group of Zaraquin waited to greet them, their bodies adorned with intricate patterns that shifted and changed like living tattoos. As Alexis and her team stepped out, the alien at the front of the delegation extended 2 of its 4 hands in what seemed to be a gesture of welcome. I am Zalara, Chief Diplomat of the Zaraquin Collective. We are honored by your presence. Alexis mirrored the gesture, feeling the alien's smooth, cool skin against her palms. The honor is ours, Zalara. We're grateful for your hospitality. What followed was a whirlwind of introductions and tours. The Zaraquin city was a marvel of bioengineering, with buildings that grew and reshaped themselves, and technology that seemed to blur the line between organic and artificial. As they walked, Zalara explained their society, a harmonious collective guided by principles of knowledge sharing and mutual growth. We have long wondered if we were alone in the cosmos, the alien mused. Your arrival brings great joy and endless questions. Alexis nodded, thinking of humanity's own long search for extraterrestrial life. We share that sentiment. There's so much we can learn from each other. Their tour ended in a vast chamber filled with swirling holograms, the Zaraquin's database of scientific knowledge. Dr. Tanaka looked like she might faint from sheer excitement. Zalara's expression grew solemn. We offer to share our knowledge freely, but we must ask, what are your intentions? Some among us fear that your people may bring conflict or seek to exploit our world. Alexis met the alien's gaze steadily. I understand your concerns. Humanity's history isn't free from darkness, but we've learned from our mistakes. We come not to conquer or exploit, but to learn to grow, and hopefully to forge a lasting friendship between our peoples. She gestured to the wonders around them. Your achievements are incredible. We don't seek to take them, but to work alongside you, to see what we can accomplish together. Zalara was quiet for a long moment, those multifaceted eyes studying Alexis intently. Finally, the alien nodded. Your words ring true, Captain. I believe this could be the beginning of a great partnership. As they sealed their agreement with another touch of hands, Alexis felt a surge of hope. This was more than just first contact, it was the dawn of a new era for both their species. But even as plans were made for cultural exchanges and scientific collaborations, none of them could have predicted the galactic storm that was brewing, a threat that would test the newfound alliance between humans and Zarquin to its very limits. In the weeks following first contact, the orbiting horizon became a hub of frenetic activity. Shuttlecraft zipped back and forth between the ship and the Zarquin capital, ferrying eager scientists, diplomats, and cultural attaches. The initial wave of excitement had given way to the hard work of building real understanding between two vastly different species. Dr. Yuki Tanaka found herself in her element, working alongside Zarquin biologists in a state-of-the-art laboratory. The aliens' grasp of genetic engineering and biotechnology was centuries beyond humanity's, and Yuki's mind reeled with the possibilities. The applications for medicine alone are staggering, she murmured, examining a holographic model of a Zarquin cell. Their ability to manipulate DNA at will, to regrow lost limbs, to cure diseases we thought incurable. Her Zarquin counterpart, a willowy being named Vexara, trilled in agreement. We are excited to see how your unique perspective might advance our own research. Already, your insights into human neurobiology have opened new avenues of study. Elsewhere in the city, Lieutenant Kira Chen was immersing herself in Zarquin culture. She sat cross-legged in a chamber whose walls shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, trying to follow the intricate movements of her instructor, Zimlaw. The harmony dance is more than mere entertainment, Zimlaw explained, its 4 arms weaving complex patterns in the air. It is a form of non-verbal communication, a way to convey emotions and ideas that transcend spoken language. Kira nodded, her brow furrowed in concentration as she attempted to mimic the alien's graceful movements. Her arms felt clumsy and uncoordinated in comparison, but she was determined to learn. In art history, Zimlaw continued, the harmony dance has resolved conflicts, forged alliances, and even led to scientific breakthroughs. When words fail, the dance speaks. As Kira practiced, she began to feel something, a subtle shift in the air, a resonance that seemed to connect her to Zimlaw and the very room around them. For a brief moment, she felt as if she could sense the alien's thoughts and emotions. The sensation was overwhelming, and she stumbled, breaking the rhythm. Zimlaw steadied her with a gentle touch. You felt it, didn't you? The connection, for a first attempt, that was remarkably promising. Kira nodded, still catching her breath. It was incredible. I've never experienced anything like it. Meanwhile, Captain Alexis Reyes found herself engaged in more formal diplomatic discussions with Zalara and the Zarquin Leadership Council. They sat around a table that seemed to be a living organism, its surface rippling and changing color in response to the emotional tenor of the conversation. We are prepared to open trade negotiations, Zalara announced, its skin shimmering with patterns that Alexis was learning to recognize as indicators of positive emotion. There is much we can offer each other. Alexis nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She was no longer just the captain of a starship, but a representative of all humanity. We're eager to establish a mutually beneficial relationship. However, we must proceed cautiously. Our peoples are still learning about each other, and we want to ensure that any agreements we make are fair and sustainable. One of the council members, an older Zarquin named Krelevor, spoke up. We understand your caution, Captain. It is wise. But tell us, What does humanity seek most from this exchange? Alexis considered the question carefully. Knowledge, she said finally. The opportunity to learn and grow. Your scientific and technological advancements could help us solve many of the challenges we face. In return, we offer our own unique perspectives, our art, our literature, our history, both the triumphs and the mistakes we've learned from. The council members exchanged glances, their skin patterns shifting in complex ways. Finally, Zalara spoke. Your answer pleases us, Captain. It aligns with our own values of mutual growth and enlightenment. We believe this can be the foundation of a lasting alliance. As the discussions continued, Alexis couldn't help but feel a sense of optimism. Despite their differences, humans and Zarquin seemed to share core values of curiosity, growth, and peaceful cooperation. But even as these positive exchanges were taking place, trouble was brewing. In orbit, Commander Okafor noticed something concerning on the long-range sensors. A series of anomalous energy readings coming from the edge of the solar system. As he zoomed in on the source, his blood ran cold. A fleet of ships was approaching, ships that matched neither human nor Zarquin designs, and they were moving fast, on an intercept course with the planet. Okafor's fingers flew over the console as he opened a secure channel to the captain. Captain Reyes, we have a situation. Unknown vessels approaching at high speed. Their energy signatures, they're like nothing we've ever seen before. On the planet's surface, Alexis received the message, her face growing grim. She turned to Zalara, who seemed to sense the sudden tension. It seems our newfound friendship may face its first test sooner than we expected, Alexis said, her voice low and urgent. We have unknown ships approaching your world. We need to prepare for the possibility that they may not be friendly. Zalara's skin paled, its patterns becoming erratic. We are a peaceful people, Captain. We have no significant defenses. If these newcomers are hostile... Alexis placed a reassuring hand on the alien's arm. Then we'll face this threat together. Humanity stands with the Zarquin. As alarms began to sound across the city, Alexis knew that the true challenge was just beginning. The bonds forged between their species were about to be tested in fire, and the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The Zarquin capital was a hive of anxious activity as news of the approaching fleet spread. Captain Alexis Reyes stood in the planet's central command center, a vast chamber filled with swerving holograms and pulsing bio-organic interfaces. Zalara and the other Zarquin leaders huddled nearby, their skin patterns betraying their fear and uncertainty. Our long-range scans confirm at least 20 vessels, Commander Okafor reported via holographic link from the horizon. Their technology is advanced, far beyond anything we've encountered before. Alexis nodded grimly. Any response to our hails? Negative, Captain. They're maintaining radio silence. One of the Zarquin counselors, Krelovor, spoke up, his voice trembling. Perhaps they come in peace, like you did. We can hope, Alexis replied, but we need to prepare for all possibilities. Zalara, what defenses does your world have? The alien diplomat's skin rippled with patterns of distress. We have atmospheric shields designed to protect against solar radiation and meteorites, but against a determined attack, I fear they would not hold long. Alexis's mind raced. The Horizon was a powerful ship, but it was designed for exploration, not warfare. Against an entire fleet of unknown capabilities, it stood little chance. They needed a plan, and fast. Dr. Tanaka, she called out, activating a comm link. I need options. Is there anything in the Zarquin's biotechnology that we could adapt for defense? In her lab, Yuki's eyes widened as an idea struck her. Captain, the Zarquin have these incredible bioengineered organisms they use for atmospheric maintenance. If we could reprogram them, upscale them, we might be able to create a living defense grid, Alexis finished, a spark of hope igniting. Do it. Work with the Zarquin scientists. You have 2 hours. As Yuki and her team threw themselves into the task, Alexis turned to Lieutenant Chen. Kira, you've been studying Zarquin culture. Is there anything in their history, their technology, that might help us communicate with these new arrivals? Kira's brow furrowed in thought. The harmony dance, she said slowly. It's more than just movement. It's a form of energy manipulation. If we could amplify it somehow, broadcast it, we might be able to establish a connection, or at least show peaceful intentions. Alexis nodded. Good thinking. Work with Zimla, see what you can devise. As her crew scrambled to prepare, Alexis felt the weight of two worlds on her shoulders. She turned to Zalara, whose multifaceted eyes were fixed on the holographic display of the approaching fleet. I'm sorry, Alexis said softly. We brought this threat to your doorstep. Zalara's skin shimmered with a pattern Alexis had come to recognize as determination. No, Captain, you brought us hope. For millennia, we thought ourselves alone in the universe. Now, in our hour of need, we stand together. Whatever comes, we face it as one. The alien's words bolstered Alexis's resolve. She squared her shoulders and began issuing orders, coordinating the frantic preparations. In orbit, the Horizon maneuvered into a defensive position. Commander Okafor ran battle drills, preparing the crew for any eventuality. Engineers worked to integrate Zarquin biotech into the ship's systems, hoping to boost their capabilities. On the planet's surface, massive bioengineered creatures began to take shape under Yuki's guidance. Part plant, part animal, they grew at an astonishing rate, their tendrils reaching into the upper atmosphere. If Yuki's calculations were correct, they would form a living barrier capable of absorbing and redistributing energy, a shield against potential attacks. Meanwhile, Kira and Zimlor stood atop the tallest spire in the Zarquin capital. Around them, a complex array of crystals and bioorganic transmitters hummed with power. They had one shot at this. If they could broadcast the energy of the harmony dance at the right frequency, they might be able to establish a connection with the approaching ships. As the hours ticked by, tension mounted. The unknown fleet drew ever closer, their intentions still a mystery. Alexis paced the command center, every muscle taut with anticipation. Suddenly, alarms blared. Captain, Okafor's voice rang out. The lead ship is powering up weapons. Alexis's heart raced. This was it. All hands, battle stations. Dr. Tanaka, are those bio-shields ready? As ready as they'll ever be, Yuki's tense voice replied. Lieutenant Chen, initiate the harmony broadcast. Let's hope they're in a listening mood. As Kira and Zimlor began their synchronized movements, channeling energy through the broadcast array, the lead ship of the alien fleet fired. A beam of searing energy lanced towards the planet. For a moment, it seemed as if all was lost. Then, miraculously, the massive bioengineered creatures stirred. Their tendrils lit up, absorbing the energy of the attack and dispersing it harmlessly into the atmosphere. In the same instant, the harmony broadcast surged outward. Alexis gasped as she felt a wave of sensation wash over her. Emotions, images, concepts too alien to fully grasp. The Zarquin around her trembled, overwhelmed by the connection. For several tense heartbeats, nothing happened. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the attack ceased. A new signal came through, not in words, but in a complex series of energy pulses. They're communicating, Zalara breathed, its skin rippling with a mix of fear and wonder. As the command center worked to decipher the message, Alexis allowed herself a moment of relief. They had weathered the first assault, but she knew this was only the beginning. The true test still lay ahead, and the fate of both humanity and the Zarquin hung in the balance. The universe, it seemed, was far more complex and dangerous than they had ever imagined. But facing it together, there was hope. Alexis straightened, ready to face whatever came next. The greatest challenge of her career, of human history, was just beginning. A humanoid alien girl with blue skin and expressive large eyes, wearing advanced robotic armor with metal plating and glowing circuits. She appears shocked, with her mouth slightly open, as she faces a human figure. The human is partially visible, wearing futuristic attire. The setting is a high-tech sci-fi environment with glowing panels and machinery in the background. The alien girl has a smooth, metallic texture to her skin, and her armor is detailed with intricate designs and advanced technology. The atmosphere is tense and futuristic. As the alien fleet loomed above, the command center buzzed with frantic activity. Alexis, Zalara, and their teams worked tirelessly to decipher the complex energy pulses sent by the unknown ships. Dr. Tanaka's holographic image flickered to life, her eyes wide with excitement. "Captain, I think we've cracked it," she exclaimed. "The signals, they're not just communication. They're a form of highly advanced mathematical language." Alexis leaned forward, her heart racing. "Can we respond?" Yuki nodded. "We're adapting the Harmony broadcast to match their frequency. It's not perfect, but it should allow for basic communication." "Do it," Alexis ordered, turning to Zalara. "We need to show them we're not a threat." As the modified Harmony dance began, projecting complex mathematical formulas into space, the tension in the room was palpable. Minutes ticked by, feeling like hours. Then suddenly, the largest ship in the alien fleet began to descend. "They're entering the atmosphere," Commander Okafor reported, his voice tense. "No weapons signatures detected, yet." Alexis took a deep breath. "This is it. Zalara, are you ready?" The Zarquin diplomat's skin shimmered with determination. "As I'll ever be, Captain. Let us meet our fate together." The ship, a massive construct of shimmering metal and pulsing energy, touched down in the sprawling plaza outside the command center. As the dust settled, a hatch opened, and 3 figures emerged. They were unlike anything Alexis had ever seen. Tall, ethereal beings composed of swirling energy barely contained within humanoid forms. Their faces were a constantly shifting array of geometric patterns. Alexis and Zalara stepped forward, flanked by their respective teams. The lead alien raised what appeared to be a hand, and a wave of sensation washed over them. Not quite sound, not quite thought, but something in between. "We are the axiom," the sensation conveyed. "You have drawn our attention with your unusual symbiosis." Alexis swallowed hard, choosing her words carefully. "We are the United Earth Alliance and the Zarquin Collective. We mean you no harm. Our alliance is new, born of mutual curiosity and respect." The Axiom beings seemed to confer among themselves, that energy patterns shifting rapidly. Finally, the leader spoke again. "Your species are young, yet you've achieved something rare, true cooperation across the gulf of alien minds. This intrigues us." Zalara stepped forward, its skin pulsing with a mix of awe and determination. "If we have offended you in some way, we ask for understanding. We are eager to learn, to grow." The Axiom's response was tinged with what Alexis could only interpret as amusement. "Offend? No, you have proven yourselves worthy of attention. We have watched countless species rise and fall, consume themselves in war and greed. Your alliance is different. It holds potential." Relief washed over Alexis, but caution kept her alert. "Then why the show of force? Why attack?" "A test," the Axiom replied, "to see how you would respond. Violence, capitulation, or innovation." The being's energy patterns swirled in what might have been approval. "You chose to communicate, to defend without destruction. This is promising." As the conversation continued, it became clear that the Axiom were not conquerors, but a sort of galactic observer species. They revealed that the universe was far more populous and complex than either humans or Zarquin had imagined. Countless civilizations, alliances, and conflicts spanned the cosmos. "You stand at a crossroads," the Axiom explained. "Your alliance, if nurtured, could become a force for stability in this sector of the galaxy. But the challenges ahead are greater than you know." Alexis and Zalara exchanged glances. "What kind of challenges?" Alexis asked, a mix of curiosity and apprehension in her voice. The Axiom's energy patterns darkened. There are those who would see your potential as a threat, species who thrive on chaos and domination. They will come, drawn by the light of your cooperation. Zalaura's skin rippled with concern. How can we hope to stand against such threats? We are but two young species, barely united. The lead Axiom being moved closer, its energy field humming with intensity. We offer you a choice. Accept our guidance, our knowledge, and we will help prepare you for what lies ahead. But know this, the path will not be easy. You will face trials that will test the very foundation of your alliance. Alexis felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This was far beyond a simple first contact or even a planetary defense. The choice they made now would shape the destiny of both their species. She looked at Zalaura, seeing her own mix of fear and determination reflected in the alien's multifaceted eyes. Then she turned back to the Axiom, standing tall. "We accept," Alexis declared, her voice firm. "Whatever challenges lie ahead, we'll face them together. Human and Zarquin united." Zalaura stepped forward, placing two of its 4 hands on Alexis's shoulders in a gesture of solidarity. "Yes," the alien affirmed. "We choose alliance, growth, and the promise of a better future for all our people." The Axiom beings seemed to pulse with approval. "Then let your training begin. The fate of this sector, perhaps of the galaxy itself, may rest on what you become." As the Axiom ship rose into the sky, leaving behind emissaries to guide them, Alexis knew that everything had changed. The universe had suddenly become much larger, more wondrous, and more perilous than they had ever imagined. But looking at the determined faces of her crew, the shimmering forms of their Zarquin allies, Alexis felt a surge of hope. Together, they would forge a path into this new frontier, facing whatever challenges awaited them with courage, innovation, and the strength of their newfound unity. The next phase of their journey was just beginning, and the stars themselves seemed to pulse with possibility. Months passed in a whirlwind of intense preparation. Under the Axiom's guidance, the human-Zarquin alliance flourished, advancing at an unprecedented rate. The Horizon underwent extensive upgrades, integrating Zarquin biotechnology with human engineering to create a hybrid vessel unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked tirelessly alongside her Zarquin counterparts, pushing the boundaries of xenobiology. They developed new medical treatments, enhanced neural interfaces, and even ways to temporarily adapt human physiology to alien environments. Lieutenant Kira Chen's mastery of the harmony dance evolved into a powerful form of energy manipulation, allowing for enhanced communication and even limited matter reconfiguration. She trained a corps of human Zarquin teams in these techniques, creating a unique force of energy weavers. But even as they grew stronger, the shadow of impending conflict loomed. The Axiom's warnings proved prophetic as reports of aggressive alien incursions in nearby systems began to trickle in. Captain Alexis Reyes stood on the bridge of the newly christened HFY Unity, a seamless blend of human and Zarquin technology. Beside her, Zalaura's skin shimmered with anticipation. Long-range sensors detecting multiple warp signatures, Lieutenant Chen reported, her fingers dancing over the bio-organic interface. Configuration matches Axiom intelligence on the Vorthax Dominion. Alexis's jaw tightened. The Vorthax, a warlike species bent on galactic domination. This was the threat the Axiom had warned them about. "Battle stations," she ordered, her voice calm but filled with determination. "Deploy energy weaver teams to defensive positions. Dr. Tanaka, stand by with the bioshields." As the crew sprang into action, Alexis turned to Zalaura. "Are you ready for this?" The Zarquin diplomat's skin pulsed with a pattern Alexis had come to recognize as resolve. "Our people stand as one, Captain. Whatever comes, we face it together." The first wave of Vorthax ships burst from warp, their jagged forms bristling with weapons. Without warning, they opened fire, a barrage of energy beams, lancing towards the Unity and the Zarquin homeworld. "Evasive maneuvers," Alexis shouted, energy weavers initiate defensive patterns. The Unity banked sharply, its hybrid engines responding with incredible agility. Simultaneously, teams of humans and Zarquin on the ship's surface began an intricate dance, their movements generating shimmering fields of energy that deflected the incoming fire. On the planet below, massive bioengineered creatures stirred, their tendrils reaching into the upper atmosphere to create a living shield. Dr. Tanaka's voice crackled over the comm. Planetary defenses holding, Captain, but they won't last forever against this kind of firepower. Alexis gritted her teeth. We need to buy time. Lieutenant Chen, can you establish a harmony link with the lead Vorthax ship? Kira's brow furrowed in concentration. It's difficult, Captain. Their minds are chaotic, aggressive, but I'll try. As the battle raged around them, Kira focused her energy, reaching out with the techniques she had learned. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a flickering image appeared on the main view screen. A Vorthax commander, its insectoid features contorted with rage. Vorthax forces, Alexis addressed the alien, her voice firm. We have no quarrel with you. This aggression is unnecessary. Silence, weakling. The Vorthax snarled. Your alliance is an abomination. The strong dominate. The weak perish. This is the way of the universe. Alexis stood her ground. You're wrong. Together, we are stronger than any one species alone. We offer you one chance to withdraw. After that, we will defend ourselves with everything we have. The Vorthax commander's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. You defend. Against the might of the Dominion, your destruction will serve as an example too. The transmission cut off as a massive energy surge rocked the Unity. Alexis was thrown to the deck, alarms blaring around her. Direct hit to our port side, Commander Okafor shouted. Bio-repairs initiating, but we're losing power. Alexis pulled herself up, her mind racing. They were outgunned, outmatched. But they had one advantage the Vorthax couldn't anticipate, the true power of their alliance. Zalara, she called out, a desperate plan forming. The harmony link, can we use it to synchronize not just with each other, but with the Unity itself? The Zarquin's eyes widened in understanding. It's never been attempted on this scale, but yes, theoretically. Then that's our play. All hands. Alexis announced shipwide. Prepare for deep synchronization. Energy weavers, channel everything you've got into the ship's core. Dr. Tanaka, reroute all power to the bio-neural interfaces. In the aftermath of the battle with the Vorthax, the news of the Human-Zarquin Alliance's victory spread rapidly across the galaxy. The Unity, once a simple exploration vessel, had become a symbol of interspecies cooperation and innovation. Captain Alexis Reyes stood before a gathering of diplomats from dozens of alien races. The grand hall of the newly established Galactic Concord thrummed with excited chatter and the occasional burst of bioluminescence from various species. What we achieved was not just a military victory, Alexis began, her voice carrying across the chamber. It was proof that diversity is our greatest strength. By combining our unique abilities and perspectives, we created something greater than the sum of its parts. Zalara stepped forward, its skin shimmering with patterns of unity and hope. The Human-Zarquin Alliance stands ready to share our knowledge, to help forge new bonds between species. We believe that together, we can build a more stable and prosperous galaxy for all. As they spoke, holographic displays showcased the incredible advancements born from their cooperation. Revolutionary medical treatments, sustainable energy solutions, and communication technologies that bridge the gap between vastly different forms of sentience. Dr. Yuki Tanaka presented her latest breakthrough, a universal vaccine that could adapt to any biology, protecting against a wide range of cosmic pathogens. This is just the beginning, she explained, her eyes shining with excitement. Imagine a galaxy where no species need fear extinction from disease, where we can visit each other's worlds without risk. Lieutenant Kira Chen demonstrated the evolved form of the harmony dance, now capable of manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe on a small scale. "We're learning to speak the language of reality itself," she said, as swirling patterns of energy danced around her. "With further research, we might unlock secrets of space-time, revolutionize travel, even terraform dead worlds." The audience was captivated, but not everyone was convinced. A representative from a silicon-based species raised concerns about the rapid spread of bioorganic technology. Others worried about the potential for this new power to be misused. Alexis listened to each concern carefully, addressing them with patience and honesty. "We understand your fears," she acknowledged. "Any great advancement carries risks. That's why we're proposing the formation of an interspecies ethics council to ensure that these technologies are developed and used responsibly." As the discussions continued, news arrived that sent a ripple of excitement through the chamber. The Axiom, those mysterious beings who had first recognized the potential of the human-Zarquin alliance, had returned. 3 Axiom representatives materialized in the center of the hall, their energy forms pulsing with what seemed to be approval. "You have exceeded our expectations," they communicated, their thoughts resonating in the minds of all present. "Your victory against the Vorthax was impressive, but your commitment to peace and cooperation is truly remarkable." The lead Axiom turned to address the gathered species. "We have watched civilizations rise and fall for eons. Those who choose conflict and domination inevitably destroy themselves. But this alliance, it represents a new path, a chance for this sector of the galaxy to evolve beyond ancient hatreds and fears." Their words carried weight, swaying even the most skeptical delegates. One by one, representatives stepped forward to sign the Galactic Concord Charter, a commitment to mutual defense, scientific cooperation, and peaceful resolution of conflicts. As the ceremony concluded, Alexis found a quiet moment with her core team, Zalara, Yuki, Kira, and Commander Okafor. They stood on a balcony overlooking the glittering capital of this new galactic union. "We've come so far," Alexis mused, gazing at the alien stars. "When we first set out on the horizon, I never imagined anything like this." Zalara's skin rippled with affection. "You humans have a saying. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We have taken that step together, and now the journey truly begins." Yuki nodded enthusiastically. "The scientific possibilities are endless. There's so much we still don't understand about the universe. And so many new cultures to explore and learn from," Kira added, her eyes shining with excitement. Commander Okafor, ever practical, reminded them, "We'll face new challenges too. Not everyone will embrace this vision of unity. We need to remain vigilant." Alexis smiled, feeling a profound sense of purpose. "You're all right. This is just the beginning. We've proven what we can achieve together, but there's still so much to do. New frontiers to explore, bridges to build between species, and yes, threats to face." She looked at each of her friends, human and alien alike, with deep appreciation. "But whatever comes next, we'll face it as we always have, together." As they stood there, watching distant ships of various species coming and going in the night sky, Alexis felt a sense of infinite possibility. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as partners in a grand cosmic journey. The human-Zarquin alliance had started as a chance encounter between 2 curious species. Now it had blossomed into something greater, a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Alexis knew that united, they could overcome anything. A new era had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter with the promise of what was to come.